The day my salon opened was the best day of my life. There was a purple sign at the front which read exclusive in bold cursive lettering. It wasn't exclusive hairdressers or exclusive hairdressing and beauty. No, my salon was just exclusive. Michelle and another girl wore shorts and t-shirts advertising the salon and handed out small business cards with their phone number, which on one side read exclusive and on the other said, we don't want you. There were stickers on the windows stating by appointment only. I sat in the shop sipping champagne with the Incubes. The first people who came were stopped by two suited men in dark glasses at the front who told them the salon would not be open to the public until the first VIP came in to get her hair done. The more people they turned away, the more arrived to try to find out what was going on. This first customer was due in 10:30, and I paced the floor anxiously, praying she would show up. The manager of the complex came to check that everything was all right for our grand opening. A photographer from the Herald stopped by to take a few photos and wandered around the shopping center waiting for our guest to arrive. You look like a bundle of nerves, child. Try to relax, Mrs. Nkube said as she adjusted my waistcoat. I decided that our uniform would comprise black trousers, white blouses, and purple waistcoats with the logo of a woman sitting cross-legged in a yoga position. Are you sure she's coming? They wouldn't be here if she wasn't. Mrs. Coupe pointed at the suited men. My palms were sweaty and I had to wipe them every few minutes with one of our towels. Dumi was with us as well. He had taken a fortnight off work and decided to postpone his holiday until the new year. His visa was valid for 6 months in any case. My new receptionist / cashier was at the desk. She was Trina's cousin, Sarah, a woman with fiery red hair who spoke with a Rhody accent and was great at organizing the admin aspects of the business. I always knew you'd start your own place up one day, said Trina, who'd come to see the opening. She had agreed to be my supplier, but only if I guaranteed there wouldn't be any war vets visiting the shop. I had a lot of help, I gestured towards the Incubes. Nonsense, girls. Exclusive is not a place for false modesty. Mr. Incube laughed so loudly the sound reverberated around the walls. The shop had 5 staff, including Sarah, Dumi, who still needed to give in his notice to Mrs. Kumalo, Yolanda, a girl named Tariro, who I had poached from the Central Hair, and me. We would get more staff as and when the business expanded. In the meantime, Sarah could help out on the floor when needed. The phone rang and everyone fell silent. It was our first call already. Sarah picked it up. Hello? You want an appointment? Let me see. When did you want to come in? Not today or tomorrow. This week is tight, but we could fit you in on Friday. The truth is we had no appointments in the book, but Dumi had told her to make it seem as though that we were inundated. The illusion of success is often enough to breed success, he said authoritatively. Sarah put the receiver down. She'd put on a convincing performance. I just hoped that the stunt wouldn't backfire and cost us customers. She winked as she gave me the thumbs up. First one's in the bag. I looked at the clock and it was 25 to 11. Our guest still hadn't shown up. I could hear my tummy rumble and I'd feel the butterflies floating inside. What if she doesn't show? Dumi patted my shoulder to comfort me. Outside, a man and woman appeared in the front of the shop. They pointed at the sign as if unsure of where they were. The woman wore a yellow and white doek and had a similar cloth wrapped around her waist like a village woman. The man wore a faded gray suit, which had seen too many days, and walked with a slight stoop. Behind them, a security guard followed at a distance, observing them. They looked out of place in an upmarket area like this. Palmway Depot, the woman said, and then they approached the shop. Security men stopped them and told them that this place was only open for people with appointments. That's when I recognized them. Baba, Mai, I shouted and ran to the door. Let them pass, I said to the guards. Is it really you, my daughter? My mother said, her eyes moistening. I embraced them both and tried hard to stop myself crying. Fungai told us you were opening up a shop, and we came to see for ourselves. God be praised. My father's eyes wandered about the shop with pride. I introduced them to Mr. and Mrs. Nkube, who seemed relieved that there was a couple of their own age to converse with. They clapped their hands and said Makadini to one another as tradition dictated. The conversation quickly veered to the subject of their rural homes. As with all old people, they quickly came up with some obscure connection that immediately made them distant relatives. If my parents had made the effort to break with our dispute and come and celebrate with me, then I had every right to feel invincible. Nothing could possibly go wrong except that the guest was a half hour late and we were all getting restless. Michelle ran into the salon around 11:30 and shouted, "Battle stations, people, Auntie Grace is coming." A few seconds later, the president's wife walked in, surrounded by 4 bodyguards. She wore a black suit with golden embroidery running down the hem of the skirt and all around the borders of the jacket. She had an elegant walk and took no notice of the people gawking at her from the pavements. The Herald reporter returned just in time to snap her as she walked through the door. "Tisfikewo, may I come in?" she said on the threshold. Dumi pushed me forward to meet her, saying it was my big day. "Please come in, Amai Mugabe," I said with a curtsy. "Call me Auntie Grace. Amai Mugabe makes me sound so old." She beamed at me with a gracious smile. "It's Vimbai, isn't it?" She already knew the Nkubes and greeted them. I went round and introduced my parents, who were overwhelmed to be in her presence. Her apparently easygoing nature made them feel at ease, especially when she called them Amai and Baba. The last person I introduced was Trina. She was at the back, and the strain showed on her face. "Are you related to Nick Price, the golfer, by any chance?" Auntie Grace asked her. "As a matter of fact, I am." Trina masked the hostility in her voice well. "There's also Ray Price, the cricketer. You're all related, aren't you? No one has done more to the Prices No one has done more than the Prices to put up the Zimbabwean flag on the sporting map. You should take my phone number down. If I can be of any use to you in the future, do not hesitate to call me." A slight smile appeared on Trina's face, but vanished quickly, as if she was afraid to hope. We sat Auntie Grace on the chair near the window and gave her a cup of coffee. "Your prices are scary," she said with a laugh, "but tell me exactly what you're going to do to me and buy before you rob me." Everyone went silent, waiting for me to talk. Dewey crossed his fingers and mouthed something like, "Go, girl. I'm going to make you look good for the president." Grace laughed, and everyone else laughed along with her. "That's a tall order. Your president is a hard man to please." "This is the easiest job I will ever do because his wife is already stunningly beautiful." When I said this, Auntie Grace looked at herself in the mirror with a hint of vanity. "Your face has strong, well-defined features. I'm going to give you braids that match the complexion of your skin." I took out 4 packets and matched each one against her face until I settled on a rusty-colored one. "Dumi, come over to the other side and work with me." We worked furiously, weaving the braids into her hair. We left the ends free just as Dumi had done for Minister M. Auntie Grace sat patiently and chatted with Nkubes. With the both of us working together, we finished her hair in half the time it would normally have taken. She looked at herself in the mirror and turned from side to side, nodding her head to show her satisfaction. When she tried to get up from the chair, I ordered her back down. We then went on to give her a pedicure and a manicure. This wasn't built into our bill, but because we didn't announce it, the client would leave the chair thinking that it had been done specially for them. "I feel like a new woman. Thank you very much. This is all so lovely. Now, Vimbai, I can't come here every month, but I'd like you to be my personal hairdresser from now on. I will call for you whenever I need you." Everyone applauded when she said this. As soon as she left the salon, her suited companions and I, oh, as soon as she left the salon with her suited companions, I collapsed on the chair.